Hey, JulesBlessedVegan, and as always, welcome to my channel. And for those of you who are new, I know you can benefit. So I have a brief talk on getting started. If you're like me, sometimes I'm such a perfectionist, or I can see the entire picture so quickly that I'm just overwhelmed and I'm nearly paralyzed and can't even get started. So this is just a great quote, which I use as the icon for this video on taking small steps to even get started. But before that, I want to give you an update on my nephew Dean, because anyone who's been following me probably knows that one of my precious nephews OD'd on Saturday night and unfortunately went into a coma. But I don't want to totally say unfortunately, because God, sometimes he will put us into a coma, and certainly the doctors chose to induce that coma, or at least maintain it, to reduce the swelling in his brain and give his body a chance to even attempt to recover. So it is unfortunate on this side, but it was certainly necessary on that side. That said, they wanted to wait 72 hours before they went on to do a CAT scan to see if he had any brain activity. And sadly, it did not show. It showed such a minimal amount, a minuscule, if you will, amount of brain activity. But my family was not comfortable giving up, because they just don't feel like they're giving Dean as much chance as he deserves. And it's not because they're in denial. I mean, there's some things that weren't in place. They want a second opinion. That's totally reasonable. They want a neurologist, a proper neurologist who can assess the entire brain. And that's fair too. And by right, until Dean actually takes his last breath, or by God's grace improves and they decide to move him to a different care facility, he has a right to another place in that hospital. So if they need the ICU bed, they still have to provide for him. And just yesterday he was breathing on his own, but because he ended up getting pneumonia from aspiration, which is fluid in the lungs, right? They had to put him back on a breathing tube. But I don't know. Let's say what I do know. Let me be Oprah and say what I know for sure. What I know for sure is that Dean is a beautiful person with an incredible heart, that he was never confident in who he was, always felt less than, and sadly, because of what was probably a chemical imbalance anyway, which I have most certainly suffered from, he acted on it with self-medicating. And I went the formal route and actually got, help from psychiatrists and doctors and actual medication, which devastated my kidneys but got me through the hardest time of my life. He isn't as lucky at this moment, but it doesn't mean that God doesn't have a great plan for him. I knew that God certainly will use Dean in the other realm, because he's just so insightful and intuitive and beautiful. But if he chooses to use him here, we definitely want to embrace him and support him in a whole new way that hopefully will allow him to claim who he's called to be. So, for today, he is no better. And what God reveals in the days to come, we'll have to see. But my family needs continued prayer. If you're a prayer person, please continue to just keep his entire belly button family and all those who love him in your heart and in your prayers. And again, it's a specific prayer for my nephew, but I always extend the prayer outward to all those in the same circumstance. So I will ask God to be merciful on my nephew, but then I will say, and all families in a similar circumstance, all individuals in the same physical circumstance, I extend it, because he's just representative of a huge population of individuals who haven't learned to communicate effectively, of individuals who have been caught up in the chemical insanity of our drugs and what they're laced with. Marijuana isn't what it was in the 70s, okay? It is like laced with 210 substances. And it's kind of like talkies and all those things. They are terrifically enhanced. And of course, my asthma is kicking up because these are stress issues for me. But anyway, let me go ahead and do my share and just thank you again for your tremendous support. And by no means are we giving up on this regarding Dean. We're not out of the water, and we don't even know what God has planned. I feel like it's going to be rather immediate, one way or the other. But for today, just continued prayers. And bearing with me because I don't want to use my inhaler. I just want to accept this, calm myself down, and maybe get on with report cards tomorrow, right? Just another boundary. Okay, so this is it. When you are having trouble even getting started, sometimes doing the smallest step will give you the momentum to build upon. And that's certainly true, like with my students. When they are just sitting there and they can't even commit one word to paper, I get them to commit one word. I get them to write that one sentence. And hopefully it leads to another. Sometimes it doesn't, but at least they know they did one. So what this says is, start by doing just one push-up. Forgive me for laughing, but yeah. Have you seen these jugs? I've never done a push-up. I'm just playing. Sorry, I can't help it. I always go to jokes like that when I'm like this. Forgive me, but yeah, I've never done a push-up. I'd like to. I've done the one with girls with the knees, and even that's only semi-successful. But I have a goal of actually, as I'm coming into my proper body, be able to do a push-up. So start by doing one push-up. Start by drinking 1 cup of water. You hate water? 1 cup. 8 tiny ounces. Start by paying toward just one debt. You're overwhelmed by all your debt? Focus on one, because improving that one single debt will raise your score a teeny bit and possibly give you the momentum to approach other ones. Start by reading 1 page. You're interested in reading a book, but you fall asleep by page 3, read 1 page. 1 page. Start by making 1 sale. I've got to hear that, man. I have got to hear that. I have so many valuable things around here that I could readily let go of and ease our burden. We just had that, $2,000 surgery. I don't even know. I mean, God knows, but the other $1,000, I don't know where it's coming from yet. So, like there's so many things, and I have valuable items here, but where's my courage? When am I posting them on Let Go? When am I posting them on Create? Like, what am I doing? Recognizing it, but not taking the steps. So maybe selling 1 thing will give me the momentum for a second and a third and a fourth. So start by making 1 sale. Start by deleting 1 old contact. Oh my gosh, I already have an abandonment issue. No, I get that. And I actually, these last couple of days in the waiting of my nephew, I've actually cleaned up some of I realized I had hundreds of emails. I got rid of them. So I get that one. Start by walking 1 lap. I've been doing that. Yes, I have. Start by attending 1 event. That's a big one for me. I actually committed to a friend that I'm going to go to a concert. And I usually don't even make the time for that. I don't spend my money towards that. But also, and it's been true for me so many times, I can get outside of myself for someone else. But if it's for me, sometimes I'll just have a panic attack. I'd rather make up any excuse not to go. Even though I seem like such a social butterfly, I struggle with that. So my 1 event is that I'm going to a Christian concert on February 15th. I've said it out loud, word. Start by writing 1 paragraph. That's another thing. I am such a writer. Are you kidding me? If somebody needs a poem, if somebody needs me to correct something, if somebody needs me, I'm there. For myself, not so much. Start today. This isn't something where we say next Monday I'm going to. Tomorrow I'm going to. Like, what are you going to do? And to be fair, I did write in my food journal. And sadly, I had to write something off my page. I mean, it's not a first-class crime, but it was sad because I was getting momentum. I had 11 days, and then today, and I'm not even going to blame my monkey. I'm not even going to blame my monkey. I chose to fast, which is fine. I chose to fast till 5 o'clock for prayer for my nephew, and I made it till 5 o'clock. Then my husband said, "Oh, you deserve to go to dinner." Oh, God. I had my salad planned in my humble little kitchen. "You deserve to go to dinner, honey." Were we going for me or for him? Let's be fair. Whatever the case is, we went to dinner, and I made a lot of good choices, but I made one I didn't feel good about. I wrote it down and wrote it off the page and rejoiced in all the things I did right. And then finally, repeat tomorrow. Like, this is how you build the habit. This is how you build momentum, right? So let's go back. Start by doing 1 push-up. Start by drinking 1 cup of water. Start by paying toward 1 debt. Start by making 1 sale. Start by deleting 1 old contact. Start by walking 1 lap. Start by attending 1 event. Start by writing 1 paragraph. Start today. Repeat tomorrow. So again, don't sit here going, but look at all the things I have to start 1 of. I can't possibly. Let's make it smaller. Choose 1 thing off the 1 list and do 1 thing, right? Anyway, it's just an idea and I appreciate it. So again, I posted it as the icon for this video. I hope you'll consider it. And if you do, write in the comments below, what is your 1 thing? Let me commit to 1 thing. I already said that I was going to go to 1 event. What else feels safe to me right now? I'm going to say start by reading 1 page. There's this fantastic book I actually ordered on Amazon, and it's for spiritual warfare and warriors. Hi. And I'm so overwhelmed. I'm like, how can I possibly? I don't have time. I have time for 1 page. 1 page. All right. Anyway, I seem strong and present. I am a little tripped out inside, but I have to keep going, and I will make time for myself to grieve. But I'm still in hope right now. I usually don't grieve until long after. I remember when my father died, I was so busy caring for him for, the 9 months before he died, and then busy putting together the funeral, and then busy comforting family, and then busy wrapping his stuff up, and just all the stuff, that it wasn't until, I don't know, at least 3 months later, that we were just watching, I think it was The Rifleman, which was a show that he used to sit and watch. And the theme from it just suddenly made me cry. And then I realized, oh my gosh, I'm mourning my father. And that's okay. We don't have to push ourselves to cry. We don't have to decide that we're not feeling because we're not responding the way people deem appropriate. Our truth is our truth. So for today, I'm just going to stay strong and continue to support people. But I appreciate your support in my Jules Blessed Vegan community. You guys are a blessing to me always. So if you like, join us if you haven't. Subscribe, leave a comment that I can support you, and let me know your prayer intention. I'm really good at it. And until we talk again, best of all, know that you're blessed.